Welcome back. This is Dreddeus with another quick and dirty rebuild. What is a quick and dirty rebuild? Well, basically, it's a one episode rebuild of a team leading to Super Bowl win and doing this in the most efficient but also realistic fashion. So nothing crazy gonna happen here. We're not gonna exploit Madden. Do want to keep it realistic. This is a special episode. This is a Christmas special. I don't know if you're celebrating Christmas or I don't really care what religion you are or where you are in the world. I just hope that you can spend a few days in peace, in safety, in happiness with the ones that are important to you. I just really hope that all that is possible for you, that you're healthy, that you're happy, that you just have a few peaceful days. That is not too much to ask for these days, but cannot be valued enough. I did do a poll some time back where I asked which two teams you'd like to see me do, and one was the Saints that got slightly ahead. The other one was the Raiders, and yeah. So this is sort of the extra gift of the Raiders rebuild. We're gonna get straight into this. The Raiders, I really think they're an interesting team. First off, I think they're just a pretty nice and cool team. Looking at the logo, looking at the colors, but they're a pretty interesting team in terms of where they are right now. Because if you look at the team, they certainly are in dire need of a good quarterback, right? They do have Derek Carr as their franchise quarterback. He's been there for ages, but he's just not that great, right? He's a 3179 rated. I mean, what he does well, but overall, you know, when you compare him to other quarterbacks, he just is lacking something. Plus, he certainly is no long-term option, right? He will be there for maybe 2 more years overall, but that'll be that. Then the running room. The running room is looking way more better. We've got Josh Jacobs here, 24 years old, 89 overall, with a start F rate out of Alabama. This is a very, very good running back, right? He's the 9th best in the game currently. Super solid player to start out with. Really, really happy with this one. Then we've got Amir Abdullah. He's 29 and 71 rated. We've got Zamir White, 22, 70 rated. And we've got Britton Brown, who is a rookie, 24, 59. So I would say we have one good running back. Amir Abdullah is definitely not a player that I would even consider using for too long. Zamir White, yeah, he's one for the future. And Britton Brown maybe as well, but I highly doubt that. Fullback Jacob Johnson, Jacob, as you want to pronounce it. He's a typical fullback in Madden. He's super low overall rating, but he does have good attributes looking at some of those. So that is positive. Wide receivers, this is where the big quality is, of course. Davante Adams was the big trade from the Green Bay Packers. Superstar X-Factor player. He is 29, so he is a little bit on the older side, but he's the best wide receiver currently in all of Madden, so that has to count for something. Looking at his contract, he does have a long-term deal as well, but he's super expensive. Those jumps are going to be crazy on the cap, right? That is really, really terrible. We're going to have to deal with a lot of problems there. Hunter Renfrow, solid wide receiver, 2681, nothing to add to that. Keelan Cole Sr., 2974. That's a little bit of a meh player. Same with Mac Hollins. And then we've got DJ Turner. So the wide receiving room is really strange. We've got super, super great wide receiver, but that is only one. Then we've got Hunter Renfrow, who's passable, good, decent, solid, whatever. And then we've got 3 that are just outright bad, right? So nothing really too spectacular here, but we're gonna have to deal with this. This is certainly a room that needs adaptation. Tight end room, Darren Waller, 2987 with an injury straight away. He does have a superstar X Factor, which I find pretty cool. He only is out for 1 more week, so that is definitely promising. He's also a super solid tight end, also long-term deal, not that heavy on the cap, so that is also solid. The question is how big will the drop-off be? Foster Moreau is here, a good one for the future. Jacob Hollister, Jesper Horsted, And the terrible, terrible Dreddeus. That is just, I don't get these players. I don't know what happened here or why Madden even puts them in. Are they really that horrible in real life? Are they just that bad? Why are they in the team? I had so many questions. Never mind. Let's carry on. Left tackle. Let's go Colton Miller here, 26.85. Behind him, Jaxon Barton, 27.57. That is a good setup. I can work with this, right? We've got 26-year-old 85 rated player at left tackle. Start F trait looking good. No problems there. Left guards, Dylan Parham. And behind him, John Simpson. That is a strange setup if I ever saw one, right? A normal depth trait, rookie player, 69 rated. Solid, I would say, in a few stats, but overall pretty bad. Especially agility, dragging him down, 23 years old. We're just going to have to work with this in the first season. At center, we only have one player, Andre James, 25.73. Maybe we can do something here. Maybe he can go up into the 80s before he hits the 30-year-old mark. But yeah, overall, also not the most solid center right here. Right guard, Lester Cotton Sr. Behind him, Alex Bars, both 26, both horrible. 65, 62. Why would I ever use players like that? That is really questionable. Right tackle, Jermaine Eluemunor. And he's the best one, right? 27.70 rated. So the left side, I would say, is actually not as horrible. But the right side is really abysmal. Really problems here. We do have a few players that I would see as possible future players. Thayer Munford, for instance. I would rank him up immediately, use him as my starter, to be honest, because, I mean, how bad could things go, right? But if you go through the offensive line, Colton Miller is solid. Dylan Parham, that is just a strange one, right? Andre James is decent, I guess, but then these two, horrible. Absolutely horrible. So the offensive line will be crumbling like nothing you ever saw. On defense, Andrew Billings, 27.69. What is that? Kendall Vickers, 27.61. That is horrible. Left edge, basically non-existent. Strength is okay with 90, but that is that. Bilal Nichols at right edge, at least the age is right. 25.72. And Jerry Tillery, 25.70. Matthew Butler, of course, only a backup. But that is just a really strange setup, right? So these players, I have no idea what the thought process was here, but I will be switching Jerry Tillery over to left edge immediately. I have the feeling that we will not be doing anything with a 27.70 something rated player here, which is why Jerry Tillery will be immediately switched to be a left edge. That means that we at least have these two positions set with solid young players that might develop into the future. We're going to have to see what happens here. D-tackle, Neil Farrell Jr., another rookie, and Elijah Garcia, another rookie. 64 rated D-tackle. Guys, what is going on here? Left outside linebacker, Max Crosby. He's a very good player, right? 25.92 rated. Absolutely solid player. Second best left outside linebacker. His depth trait is at star. If that would be higher, I would say that he's an elite player. Contract-wise, he's locked down long-term, 20 mil on the cap. It is always pretty bad. We've got Jordan Jenkins. We've got Malcolm Kuntz. I'm not even going to go into these two, right? We only have Max Crosby at left outside linebacker. Mid linebacker, Denzel Perriman. I know him from the San Diego Crusaders franchise, where he's actually doing well. But he's injured. Jayon Brown is injured, so we'll have Divine Diablo is injured. Micah Kaiser is injured. Dudes, come on. Are you joking? Curtis Bolton, Darian Butler, and Luke Masterson. Great stuff, right? This is horrible, guys. Then we've got Chandler Jones at right outside linebacker. I also know him from the San Diego Crusaders franchise, where he sadly is not an X Factor anymore. I was really stuck on that image for the moment because he's a normal depth trait player for me, but still pretty good. Was happy to acquire him out of free agency. Here we still have him, but at age 32, that is going to be tricky. This is going to be an interesting rebuild. 3-year deal, not too bad. Clelin Ferrell is there at a 72 rated, and then we've got Deshaun Bauer. At corner, we've got Nate Hobbs injured, 23 years old, 79. First really decent player also in terms of the future. Rock Ya-Sin is here, 2678. Anthony Everett, and then Sidney Jones IV, Amik Robertson, and Sam Webb, who's also injured. A lot of injuries here, Jesus Christ, man. Duran Harmon is the free safety, and Matthias Farley is stacked behind him. Duran Harmon, same thing, also a player that I used in the San Diego Crusaders franchise. Do take a look at that one. It's a really interesting franchise series, only allowed to sign veterans age 30 or older out of free agency. Actually pretty cool when you ask me. Duran Harmon, certainly not one for the future. For the moment, he's okay-ish. Strong safety, we've got Trevon Murray, who I really, really like seeing. 23 years old, 77 overall. That is good. Roderick Teamer Jr. and Isaiah Polamo. Yeah. Daniel Carlson, I don't know why we need a superstar kicker, but at least we have one. We might be getting some points out of him. Fourth best kicker. And the punter is AJ Cole, the third, also a superstar. That is massive, actually. Never seen two superstars on those positions. Let's take a look at the draft picks. We will be picking at number 22. Then we've got 1 second, 1 third, 1 fourth, 2 fifth, 1 sixth round pick. That is actually not bad, right? That is good. We've got 7 picks. We will need those. We will definitely need those. And then we have a practice squad with quite a few players. I think I will be activating some of these immediately before we start the season. As you know, in these quick and dirty rebuilds, I will only be simming the season. See you again at the end of this season. Then we'll take stock of where we ended up. We're going to upgrade the players, going to upgrade the staff, and then we're going to head into off-season to start the rebuild for real. For now, we're going to start into the season. Yeah, I'm just going to say see you then. Let's see what happens. I do hope that we get a positive record. In a complete surprise to absolutely no one, we did make the playoffs. We also had a negative record, 8-9. The season must have been a pretty tough one. Looking at it, didn't really expect too much, right? There aren't that bad results in there overall when you look at it, but still, it is it just was to be expected, especially looking at the defense. That was just a big detractor right there. So basically what we will be doing now is we will be moving forward past the Super Bowl to the beginning of the real off season, not just our off season. Let me just quickly show you something here. In the team salaries, this is always a place where I like to spend some time, just check out the team, who are my highest earners, and so on and so forth. To be honest, there's not really a lot of surprises in here, right? We do have players like Derek Carr, Davante Adams, Max Crosby. I was expecting those names, Josh Jacobs, and so on and so forth. So all of that works for me, makes sense, all right. But when you look at the years, and this is where things get really tricky. First off, the bonuses sometimes are really completely out of sync with the players, right? So Chandler Jones getting a lot of money at the moment here. Huge signing bonus, 45 mil. That really hurts a little bit. On this year, right, who are the top 3 earners? We've got Derek Carr, all right. We've got Davante Adams, all right. Then we've got Max Crosby, so no surprises there. That is pretty much in line with all of the other contracts that we went with. Then we do have a drop below 20 mil, and then we have a drop below 15 mil. And that is okay for me, but we do have Colton Miller, Chandler Jones, Max Crosby, Davante Adams, and Derek Carr pretty highly rated. All right, that's 2023. Let's check out 2024. We still have Derek Carr with 43.9 mil a year. That is insane, man. Max Crosby, 22. That is a huge drop. Then we've got Davante Adams, 21.3 mil. And then we are below 20. And then we're around the 15 mil mark. So it's 4 players are earning so much money. And Derek Carr is earning double of what, for instance, Max Crosby is getting. That is a huge difference. And Derek Carr isn't such an insanely better or more important player for the team, right? Let's take a look at the 2025 salary budget. This is horrible. Derek Carr still on a 43 mil contract. Davante Adams on a 40 mil contract. It's a huge hike. And then we've got Max Crosby 24.5, and then Colton Miller with a 15, and so on. So basically, players earning around 15 mil, that works for me, right? But the running back, who's a very important position to me, is getting around 12 mil a year. And then we've got these players here that get so much. And to be honest, yes, Davante Adams is fantastic, but is he worth this much? Not money, but percent of the salary. The time of offloading unnecessary players is upon us. I will be trading these away to other teams, and we're just going to be getting a few late rounder picks in there just to bolster our draft cap a little bit. Time for a quick free agency recap. My signings, let's sort by position. I started out with bringing a little bit more backup to the tight end room. Irv Smith Jr. is joining the ranks of the Raiders, long-term deal, 7 years. Nate Davis is our new right guard. We thoroughly needed a solid player at that position because we were just really lacking something there. 5-year deal for Nate Davis. Then we've got Charles Omenihu, who's a left edge player, 26 years old, 76 overall. Not that expensive, but a 4-year deal for him. Really worked in our favor there. Greg Gaines, in addition to the D-tackle room, 3-year deal for the former LA Ram. We just needed a solid player right there. Didn't have anybody there that was even close. And finally, we brought in Taylor Rapp at strong safety. 5-year deal also for the former Ram. He's 25, so he will be improving over the course of the future. So as you can see, I went for players under 28 to sort of also build a little bit for the future. Overall, the signings were really out of this world. Tom Brady returning to the Patriots. This is the feel-good story of the season, and I'm just going to leave it right there. All right, draft recap time. We picked quite a few players. We needed quite a few players to add to our team. First off, we picked Jaxon Smith-Njigba, hidden depth trait. Of course, he is one of the top prospects in the 2023 draft. I just felt like if we really need to cut Davante Adams at some point in the future due to his salary cap, we will need a good wide receiver that can pick up the pace. And Jaxon Smith-Njigba, 79 already, looking very nice at age 20 and a hidden depth trait to boot. Next up, Brandon Joseph, 76 rated strong safety, a rookie out of Florida State. I will be switching him over to a free safety. Just feel like we needed a little bit more backup at that position. Next, DJ Uygalilei, a 64 rated normal depth trait quarterback. I just sort of jumped the gun on this one. I just felt like we should get a quarterback in there. I don't think it's going to be him in the long run, but we'll just see how he develops. With that normal depth trait, things are a little bit tricky, to be honest. So fingers crossed right there. Rick Wooden, cornerback on normal depth trait, 66 rated out of Notre Dame. Looking good. Speed, acceleration, agility, jumping are good attributes. The rest is not that exciting. Right tackle, Daniel Hughes, rookie out of Rice, 63 overall, normal depth trait. Bit disappointing, to be honest. He looked better on the board. But yeah, there we go. This is the truth of the draft. Next up, Tracy Bartell, 64 rated, rookie out of Southern Miss. 21 years old, left guard backup. Really feeling good about this one. It's just a backup. We needed that. We need a bit more depth. Joe Tipperman, 64, center out of Wisconsin. 22-year-old rookie. Strength is good, lead blocking, impact blocking, solid. I would say this is a good base to start from. And finally, we picked Tommy Gordon, a mid linebacker, 63 rated rookie out of West Virginia right there. And also a few attributes looking nice. A few definitely need improvement. But he's a scheme fit which should improve the speed at which he improves. I would say we can be very happy with Jaxon Smith-Njigba. When you take a look at the overall and we picked pretty late in the draft, to be honest, in 22. We're not that far down, but of course there are fantastic players that were picked first. If you do go by overall, and if we sort by that, you can see that he's one of the 2 top picks. One was Will Anderson, 4th pick, and we picked here Jaxon Smith-Njigba, 14th overall pick, and then come Bryce Young and Jalen Carter and so on. Those weren't on the board anymore. A little bit sad about that. Could have gone for Bijan Robinson, but didn't want to do that because, you know, repetition is boring. Anyhow, draft done. Let's keep going. All right, we have completed the offseason. We're at the beginning of the 2023 season, and we're just going to be taking a quick look at the roster because it did change a little bit. There we go, resorting, and we brought in quite a few players, quite a few interesting players. So we do have Colton Miller here at left tackle, super solid, pretty happy with him. We will give Parham another year to show us what he can do in 73. I expect him to hit the mid 70, maybe a high 70s. That would be awesome, actually. We still have James here at center, 75, same thing. I want to see him go towards 80. We did bring in Nate Davis to solidify right guard position. We also switched over the rookie that we picked in the draft over to the right guard as a backup. I want to see Thayer Munford here, of course, just makes sense. Tight end room now is stacked pretty well, really liking this one here. In terms of the wide receiver room, I feel like we should put Jaxon Smith-Njigba as our wide receiver number 2. That should work well for us. Josh Jacobs at running back, then Derek Carr still here. DJ Uiagalelei is still our quarterback. I brought in Giovanni Ricci at fullback. He's just the youngest fullback that I could find that was still decent, just to have a little something for the future. On defense, I think we improved the overall face of this defense, while still there's a lot of space and a lot of things that still need to be done. We do have the rookie here, that's Joseph. Switched him over from strong safety to free safety, very happy with that. We have Chandler Jones here, still going strong at an X factor. We've got Diablo Harrison, this is the center, the double mid linebacker situation here. We do have backups here, but nothing too crazy. Max Crosby still at left outside linebacker. Trevor Morig is now at 82 and a superstar depth trade. That is fantastic. Taylor Rapp in here as the backup. The corner room still a little bit shaky, I would say. We've got Nate Hobbs, who's solid, but over here Robertson at the 71. That is a big drop off. Omeniu at left edge. Kemp the backup, Greg Gaines at D tackle, Farrell the backup, and over here we have Butler, who is the right edge player, because Bilal Nichols currently injured, out for 3 more weeks, but then he will be up here and we will have a solid 78, 79, 77 right edge, D tackle and left edge situation. Special teams completely set, specialists are set, and the practice squad is set with the worst players that we could find. Of course, I didn't pick those. Those were added by the CPU here, or by the AI, whatever. Yeah, with that said, I will be moving forwards towards the end of the season now. Let's see if we can get a positive season done. We did improve offense quite significantly. Defense still very, very shaky. At the end of the 2023 regular season, we are at 10-7 in the AFC West. That is actually pretty good. We are also in the wildcard round, which is awesome, against the Patriots out of all teams, meaning we will be facing Tom Brady, who's ready, geared, and running for his next ring right there. We actually didn't do that well in terms of points sometimes, but for the most part, I'm really happy with the season, really happy with how it turned out, and yeah, we can really look forward to this playoff stint. Words are failing me, and I didn't check in here before, but this is looking super nice, isn't it? Some of these players, actually a lot of players, went up in depth trades. That is one for Munford, who's still at 73, but he's a star depth trade now. That is great. Parham definitely showed that it is worth keeping him. James went up to 79, so the offensive line certainly looking way better now. And of course, we've got Jaxon, Smith-Njigba with a superstar dev trait. The rookie out of Abilene Christian. I don't know what that even is. Sometimes it says NA, sometimes it says something like this. This is really strange. Gonna check back where he's really from. Not really knowing that off the top of my head, but he's fantastic. Really great job here for Smith-Njigba. Derek Carr at an 83. That is, of course, including buffs. DJ Galilei even went up in dev trait as well. Don't really know what the reason for that was. Still at a 66, but doesn't matter too much. What does defense look like? Defense looks, yeah, like it looked before. Do you see that? That he also went up. That's a lot of dev trait improvements. That is really awesome. But Joseph went up 78 now here at the free safety position. So for this offseason, definitely. Corner is a position that we need to improve. I also feel like we should improve the mid linebackers a little bit. And we need to do something about Chandler Jones because he is regressing already. He does look very, very solid still. But to be honest, he will be going down. He will be regressing hard. And his salary is still too high. So we'll have to make a few hard cuts this offseason. But for now, we're just going to head into next week. Let's see what happens. Before we do that, just a quick information here. I also upgraded the franchise staff, the head coach, Santa Claus, of course, offensive coordinator, Rod Starling, defensive coordinator, fully upgraded. That was great. Player personnel, so far nothing. I'm slowly upgrading the head coach now just to get us towards these practice buffs as well. But yeah, with that said, guys, we are now going to head into next week. Let's see if we can beat Tom Brady and the Patriots. All right, divisional playoff round, and we are still in the race here. This is awesome. It was a tight game against the Patriots here, 35-30, but we're now going to be playing the Baltimore Ravens. Let's see how that pans out. This is looking a little bit too good to be true, to be honest. We are through to the next round, guys. We are going to be playing the Kansas City Chiefs. And here we go. We're only one step away from the Super Bowl, which would be absolutely crazy if you ask me, because I don't feel like the team is really that fantastic at the moment. We do have an injury here. What does the injury list look like? Oh, that is a huge blow. Chandler Jones is out. Taylor Rapp is out. That is not too bad because we do have a backup, but Chandler Jones means that we'll be playing with a backup player right now. Can we actually fix this? Are there any good right outside linebackers available at the moment that we could use here sort of as a short-term replacement? We do have space on the roster, but there's nobody here. Nobody even getting close to what we would need. Melvin Ingram is the closest, but yeah, I'm not going to bring in him. We're just going to have to work through this. And yeah, with that said, let's see what we can pull off against Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs. It's in recap time, and spoiler alert, we didn't make it to the Super Bowl. The Chiefs won against the Panthers. Pat Mahomes is the Super Bowl MVP. Overall MVP, Jalen Hurts, quarterback for the Eagles. Very nice. Coach of the Year, Nick Sirianni, also Eagles. Alvin Kamara, running back for the Saints. TJ Watt for the Steelers. Bryce Young, Offensive Rookie of the Year for the Seahawks. And Defensive Rookie of the Year for the Bears, Will Anderson Jr. Player negotiation time. And it's 10 players that are up for contract negotiations. I, of course, will not be negotiating with any of these apart from, and here it comes. I just want to keep around Andrew James. I really think that he has something to bring to the squad in terms of the central position, and I will be giving him a long-term deal to boot. I just want to really keep him around. Let's see what happens. All right, so he stays with us. That is great. All the other players, I will not be going with these. I don't really feel like that is something that would be beneficial. I feel like I do have a plan for this off-season, so let's go and execute that one. All right, it's finally happened. We sent Derek Carr. He was regressing at also 33 years old to the Falcons. We receive overall pick number 5. We're sending third and second round pick to the Falcons. This is actually a realistic trade because they only had Desmond Ridder on their books, so a 60 rated quarterback. So just makes sense to bring in an experienced QB for the season and not waste potential draft capital on unproven talent. Next deal done, we are sending Hunter Renfro, 28, and slowly regressing as well. To the Colts, we're receiving Alec Pierce. I just wanted to have a younger wide receiver in there. That's not too far off. I think we got that done. And we also get another tight end in Jelani Woods. Free agency recap, and it was a very successful one. By position, we signed CJ Ham as our solid fullback, just to have a solid player in there. Yetur Gross-Matos, our new right edge, 26 years old, 6-year deal. Going to be with us for a long time. Miles Jack, median improvement, also 5-year deal, but a superstar X Factor at age 28. Fantastic player, going to be very solid in that mid linebacker position. And we also brought in Akeem Davis-Gaither as the right outside linebacker. Chandler Jones was regressing so hard, and I'm going to show you that in a second after we complete the draft. Alright, to execute the plan that I mentioned earlier, we're going to have to trade up for the first overall pick. I can't risk losing this player. I gave the number 5 pick that we just got, along with 2 picks from next year's draft, 3 and 7, 3rd and 7th rounders to be precise, to the Texans. We are receiving the number 1 overall pick. Draft recap time. This was a very successful draft. We really improved the squad a lot. Only 6 picks, but those really counted. Caleb Williams, starting quarterback, 73 rated, hidden depth rate, first pick off the board, 24th best ranked quarterback in the game already at pretty much the start of his career. At age 21, not too bothered about that. He will be getting better. No worries. Billy Bowman, or Bowman, whatever you want to call him, 73, same thing. Rookie out of Oklahoma. Also same face, funnily enough, but never mind. Looking absolutely beautiful. Speed, acceleration, agility, jumping, great. Press is great as well. All the other attributes, those will come, but those are the most important ones. Also a hidden depth trade, which is great. Darnell Dell is a D-tackler run stopper, just an addition to the room. I felt like we could bring in a new player. Didn't really hit it off here in the draft with this pick, but still solid player. James Mixon, 65 rated, rookie out of USC, looking very good. Good solid strength, good backup at the right tackle position. At left tackle, we're bringing in Theo Hoover, 66 rated rookie out of Rutgers. Also very good, looking at the strength. Super happy with this pick. And finally, I brought in Brett Hearns, UDFA, 68 rated rookie out of Mount Union, 22 years old. Actually, not even looking too horrible. If you look at the speed, acceleration, catching traffic, spectacular catch, agility, and jumping, and you will see that we actually didn't pick too badly in the undrafted free agents pool. So after this offseason, we have a squad that looks more or less like this. We've got James has an injury, which is why he's not being shown here. We've got Temperman at the moment, but then next week James will be back. So this is the offensive line. We've got Miller, Parham, James, Davis, and Munford. Munford's still a little bit of a question mark. I do hope that he improves this season. That would really be very nice. We've got Waller as our starting tight end, of course. We've got Irv Smith Jr. and we've got Jelani Woods, who went up to a start trade as well. Great and fantastic news. Super happy about that. Smith-Njigba and Adams, fantastic duo for Caleb Williams to go for. We also have Alec Pierce in here. Really happy about this one. Rather have him than another player. We've got Brett Hearns down here. He's still pretty far down low in the ranking. We've got Fort above him and Connor here as well. CJ Ham is here. Josh Jacobs went up to superstar depth trade. Absolutely great. Solid running room. Nothing more than that. DJ Ugalilei did go down again. Lost his depth trade. On defense, we are really looking better and better, to be honest. I really like the look of Bowman and Hobbs at the corners. Omenihu here at left edge, only because Matt Crosby could be used here, but we're not going to do that. We're going to leave him at left outside linebacker, pair him up with Miles Mack. All right, we've got Dante, I think it's Dante, or is it Devil Diablo? I don't know, something like that. Anyway, Diablo is here, 76 rated at mid linebacker, and Davis Gaither also here. These two, of course, are positional players that we could improve at some point in time. Very happy with Joseph, very happy with Morig. So all of that is looking super solid. Gaines is here, we've got Farrell, we've got Dell and Butler and Kemp. So a lot of players all across the board that are really solid looking. We also have Gross Matos here at right edge. So the attacking line is looking pretty good on defense. The special teams are solid as always, so nothing has changed here. Hearns is the new kick and punt returner due to his speed. He's absolutely rocking that one. All right, guys, with that said, we're going to start the season. Let's see where we do end up after this season. Feast your eyes on this, the view of the playoff bracket 2024. We are in the divisional playoff straight away. We made it past the wildcard round. We're the top seed in the league. Isn't that fantastic, guys? This is absolutely great. We're topping the AFC West. 13-4 is the current situation here. We are the second overall team with a fantastic win percentage. Really looking very good. Really happy about this. Didn't expect it, to be honest. I was a little bit shocked when the screen loaded and I didn't see us facing a team. I was like, what? We dropped down. What happened? But then I saw that we were through, and that really made me happy. What else was great? I'm going to show you this right now. I mean, just take a look at this. The team has improved so much. I cannot even put my finger on it, what has happened where, and I don't really recall a rebuild where I had this as much. You know, so many improvements in the dev traits, for instance. That's just so uncalled for. So it's just the first time ever. Anyhow, I'm really happy about this, by the way. The wide receiving room, we still have Davante Adams. We've got Alec Pierce, who was solid. I would say Jaxon Smith-Njigba is good. But Brett Hearns, Jesus, man, he completely went off, the rookie. Do you remember we picked him in the UDFA? I don't know, it was a 60-something, and he just went up so much. Take a look at that. Plus, you know, the buffs that we now have, because the coaching staff is fully upgraded. And that oh, Jesus Christ, man, I don't even know what to say. Caleb Williams, man, superstar, 94, and in his rookie season, out of all things, 8th best quarterback right now. He just went up in so many attributes. This is crazy, man. It's not even a scheme fit, but all of the players count as scheme fits due to the coach upgrades. But this is the offense, really fantastic looking offense. On defense, things could be looking a little bit better. Yes, they could. Bowman turned out to be a startup trade. That works for me. We do have the edge rushers and the D tackles. Not the best, of course, but this is all really serviceable. And seemingly it's working as well. So that is something that is great. Really happy about this, that it paid off as quickly as it did, actually. Only a few parts really needed to be improved in the end. But here we go. We're now going to sim to next week, going to go week by week, just see how far we can push this time around. It's not our first playoff stint, but maybe we can get it done this time. Well, playoff time, and we will be facing the Pittsburgh Steelers. Our opponent has been revealed. They beat the Tennessee Titans, are now going to be facing us in this divisional playoff. Down here, Patriots versus Chiefs. This is going to be a battle again. And here we have the Bears versus the Hawks and the Dallas Cowboys versus the Carolina Panthers. And yeah, I think we can say that let's just get into the game, right? I mean, we are as prepared as we'll ever be. We've improved as much as we ever have. And yeah, let's just head to next week. Let's see where we end up if we make it into the AFC Conference Championship game. All right, let us rejoice again. We made it through. We are in the championship round. We're going to be playing the Chiefs again. Pat Mahomes kicked us out last year on his way to the Super Bowl win. On the other side, it's going to be the Dallas Cowboys versus the Seattle Seahawks. I would really like to beat the Chiefs this time around. I have upgraded the players. We do have one new injury. Let's just check out who that is. Oh, that's quite a lot, man. Colton Miller is out. We've got Josh Jacobs, who's out. And Theo Hoover is out as well. So both left tackles are actually injured. That is, I've never had that before. But Colton Miller out for 7 weeks. Wow, he's going to miss everything. Josh Jacobs would be back for the Super Bowl if we get this done now. Let's just see how we plug that hole, by the way. Colton Miller was with us since the beginning, but this actually... All right, we've got 2 Nate Davis. This is strange. All right, we're going to sort this again. And this looks a little bit more realistic. Yes. I don't think that I want to put any of these players up in charge here, but I think Thayer Munford is a good choice at left tackle. We've got Parm here. Partill, not really usable. Tipperman, not really usable. Hughes. Let me just check. Can we get a good left tackle or a solid left tackle out of free agency maybe just for this one game? I feel like that might even be a little bit of a better idea. Cameron Fleming, for instance. Tyrell Crosby, Chume Dogan, nope. But let's just bring in Cameron Fleming. He is better than the player that we currently have there. And with his experience, he will help this team to really overcome the obstacle. Sometimes my pronunciation is really off, right? Obstacle, there we go. Got it right this time. I was just sort of using that to cover up the time it took to get the offensive line set up again. Yeah, that works for me. We've got Fleming here. He's better than Hoover, and he's better than having Munford over there and Mixon here. So definitely a good choice. Josh Jacobs is injured. We are fully aware of that one. And on defense, I don't see any injuries. Everything is looking good so far. So with that said, we are ready. We're going to head into the game. Let's see what we can pull off against the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. It's Super Bowl Sunday, and we're going to be playing the Seattle Seahawks in Dallas in the Super Bowl. We're just going to take a super quick look at the way the Seahawks are set up. They shouldn't be too far away from us, so not a lot of scrolling to be done here. Just want to check out the cornerstones. Oh my lord. Bryce Young, 97 rated brick wall quarterback. Gardner Minshew, yeah, let's forget about those. Kenneth Walker, truly elite running back. Jason Kabinda is here. DK Metcalf, Mike Evans, CeeDee Lamb, oh my lord. Marvin Mims, 3 super elite wide receivers. Tight end Noah Fant, not as elite, but still very, very solid. The offensive line is looking very, very solid, very capable of protecting him. Jadeveon Clowney here on left edge at right. Shamon Jones, D-tackle Fletcher Cox, Sheldon Rankins, super solid players. Darrell Taylor, CJ Mosley here at midline backer. A lot of older players in here as well. Tariq Woolen at cornerback, Dante Jackson, Darnay Holmes, solid players. Quandre Diggs is here at free safety, strong safety. Jamal Adams, kicker. Rodrigo Blankenship, punter. Michael Dixon. Yeah, this is a really, really deserved Super Bowl team. They eliminated a lot of competition on the way. They kicked out the 49ers, kicked out the Bears, kicked out the Cowboys, and are now facing the Las Vegas Raiders. We also had quite the journey here, to be honest. Let's see how this game pans out. There we go. And then let's see if we can get the Super Bowl done. I think we are really, really very prepared for this game. We've also got a very even matchup with the Seattle Seahawks here. Everything's looking very balanced, down to the numbers. With that said, guys, let's just get going. I can't wait. There we go. The Las Vegas Raiders win the Super Bowl against the Seattle Seahawks 24-19. Super Bowl MVP Caleb Williams, overall MVP Dak Prescott, Patrick Bailey for the Bears, Coach of the Year, Offensive Player for the Saints Alvin Kamara, Defensive Player for the Browns Myles Garrett, Offensive Rookie of the Year for the Raiders Caleb Williams. Yes, there we go. Defensive Rookie of the Year for the Dolphins Denzel Burke. Fantastic job, guys. Very, very well done. Really, very much deserved. What a great win. What a great game. What a great journey we've had. Sometimes it goes quicker, sometimes it goes a little bit slower, but this one was sort of on par with most, three seasons. The first season, for the most part, always is just, you never know how that plays out. Mostly it's horrible, but this time it wasn't as bad. Actually made it into the playoffs. But then the following season, when you really start rebuilding, you sort of have a dump. You also get a lot of points that you can spend on the coaches in that second year. So it's sometimes more or less decent going. But then in the final season where we win the Super Bowl or where we really push far into the playoffs is mostly the season where we have all of the staff upgraded, where we bring in crucial pieces like Caleb Williams, who really, I mean, he just blew me away. Didn't expect this. Josh Jacobs, superstar X Factor as of today. Really much deserved here. Very, very happy with this offensive room. On the defensive side, there still are parts where I would go for improvements, but still, this is a very solid defense that you can really build upon. I'm just going to take a quick look at the roster in a little bit of a different view. Just want to show you something here, because I always like to have some sort of longevity in there, right? So we've got Caleb Williams set up as the starting QB for the future. He's going to be here for years to come. Running back, Josh Jacobs, super solid. Zamir White, also very good. 24-year-old Dante Sherman. We can always plug in younger players. If we pick up a good player in the draft, he can go in there, but he can learn and he can develop behind this good duo here. Fullback CJ Ham, nothing to worry about here. Wide receiver Davante Adams, still going strong at age 32. Jaxon Smith-Njigba, I have no doubt that he will be an X Factor in 1 year's time. We've got Alec Pierce, we've got Brett Hearns, and with these 4 wide receivers, this is a stacked wide receiver room. If or when Davante Adams leaves the team, we will have another wide receiver 1 lined up, another great wide receiver 2 and 3 ready to get going. But we also have other players that could fill the gaps for a short time. We can draft, and we can also look for trades as well. But this is just a super solid room. And even if the star player leaves, no big problem there. Tight end, same thing, right? If he leaves, we've got Irv Smith Jr., who's really set up well. We've got Jelani Woods, both of these really capable of picking up where Darren Waller would leave off. Then we've got left tackle Colton Miller, same thing. He's going to be good for another 3, 4, 5 years. If push comes to shove, of course, we can put in other players. We can go and look for them. But this is a setup that I really like. He's solid. We've got good backups here. 22 years old at 70. He will be improving. Left guard Dylan Parham, 26-84. Super happy with this. Tracy Bartell also developing behind him. Andre James, 28 and 82. Maybe we could go for a really younger player here. But to be honest, Andre James, next 4 to 5 years, solid center. And Joe Tepperman can develop behind him. We've got the right guard Nate Davis. He's also super solid. Danny, who's not a good backup, to be honest, but next 3 to 4 years, Nate Davis is going to be locking down that spot. Thayer Munford, 25-79. He's a little bit shaky. I would expect him to improve into the mid-80s next season. Then we've got a super solid offensive line right there. Players coming here, but those still need to develop a lot. Left edge, Charles Omenihu. He's another one of those. He's good for the moment. He's going to be good for another 3 years at that position. But if we can replace it with a better player, we're going to do that. Right edge, Yetur Gross-Matos, super happy with him. 85 rated, 27-year-old player. Matthew Butler and Kendrick Bullock in there. But these here are going to be working for the next years to come. D-tackle, Greg Gaines as well. 2 years going to work for me. But then I feel like we should really look for a replacement. Neil Farrell is not it. And Darnell Dell, I doubt that he'll be the replacement as well, but whatever. I feel like if we can bring in a good D-tackle here, this position is solidified for the next years to come. Left outside linebacker, Max Crosby, I have nothing to add. Fantastic player. At mid linebacker, we've got Miles Jack, long-term deal. He's going to be fantastic for the years to come. Divine Diablo, 27-77. That is good for me. Tommy Gordon will need to improve a bit if he gets to 75 at age 26. Going to be happy. Darian Butler and Xavier Beekman, definitely not. Maybe another second solid mid linebacker would be good here to bring this up to speed. Akeem Davis-Gaither, 27-82, works for me, absolutely passable. Chandler Jones will be leaving us, that much is for sure, and Cale Garrett is still as a backup in here. Cornerback Nate Hobbs, then we've got Billy Bowman. Those two, super happy with them. Gotta lock this down for the next 5 to 6 years. Rick Wooden is in here as a backup. We've got Kerry Vincent as well. And then we've got a few decent players down here for the practice squad. Free safety, Brandon Joseph, 23-84. Great player. He will be locking down the free safety position for the next 7-8 years. No worries there. Just deal with the contracts, and that is that. We've got backups in here as well. Strong safety, Trevin Murray, 26-89. Behind him, Taylor Rapp. So this is a very solid, strong safety room. The kicker and the punter also very solidly set up. In terms of age, we have no problems. In terms of salary cap, 76.9 mil. We really have enough money to keep the players around that we need. This team is now in a really good position, and I wouldn't really put it off them to win a Super Bowl next season as well. All right, guys, with that said and done, I'm going to cut this quick and dirty rebuild. I really think that we did a great job here with rebuilding this team. We are now approaching the off season. What I would do is I would handle the negotiations, of course, cut players that we don't need, bring in players that we need, and renegotiate with those that I certainly want to keep around. I hope you enjoyed this rebuild of the Raiders. It wasn't that festive, but certainly a lot of gold in the roster setup here. So I really enjoyed this. It was great fun. Because the Raiders were in a little bit of a tough spot in regards to the salary cap and the players and the ages and so on and so forth. Yeah, hope you enjoyed it as well. If you did, drop me a like and subscribe. That helps a lot, means a lot to me as well. I appreciate each and every one of you being here, so thank you for that from the bottom of my heart. And let me just say once again, I hope you have a great few days. It doesn't matter if you celebrate Christmas or not, what religion you are. I just hope that you're healthy, that you're happy, that you're in a good place, that you're safe, that you are with people that are important to you, and that you can spend a few nice days relaxing and enjoying the holiday season. Anyhow, thanks for watching, thanks for tuning in, and see you next time.